This will launch the now familiar import wizard, which will correctly identify the files as SDTS dems. Click Next to the Load As window, accept the defaults, and continue to Output File Type and Name. Change the name to YNP-10M for 10 meters and import. The status window will tell you what's going on as the data is imported. After data import is complete, save the project and go to the Render Task Mode. Start with the YNP camera and rename it Main. Use the Edit Next Object button on the right side of the editor to go to the YNP planimetric camera and rename it Plan. Open the Main View, Plan View, and the Database Editor. Activate the main camera, Control-click to place it in this drainage at an elevation of 2100 meters, and render a preview. Depending on your RAM, one of two things will happen. WCS will either start rendering and take a long time, or give you a memory allocation failure error. To save time, WCS only renders the DEMs it has to. In this project so far, our main camera is seeing only a small part of the total terrain. Since we only have one DEM, it has to calculate the entire DEM, which is a big waste of time and memory. The solution? Tile the DEM, that is, divide it into several smaller DEMs, which will mean fewer calculations and faster render times. Open the Import Wizard, which you can launch from its button on the icon toolbar, or Control-I keyboard shortcut. Choose the YNP-10M elevation file we just created and open it. Next your way through the Import Wizard to the fourth window, Data Positioning. Previously, this is where we accepted defaults and imported. We could do this now and the DEM would be tiled, but we'd like to see what the wizard is doing. Select Change Settings and click Next 5 times to the Output DEMS page. The information box at the top explains tiling, telling us the render engine has to load an entire DEM into memory if any portion of the DEM is in camera view. The Import Wizard chooses DEMs row-wise and column-wise to divide the imported DEM into 300 row by 300 column tiles. That's where the 7 and 10 values come from. We're not going to change anything, so click Import. If you click an object in the database to refresh the list, you'll notice that we now have 71 objects. That's 70 tiled DEMs, 10 rows times 7 columns, plus the original DEM. Go to the bottom of the list and select the original YNP-10M DEM. It's still active, so if we don't disable or remove it from the database, it will still render. Click the Remove button, and a question box will pop up asking if you want to remove the DEM from the disk. We might want that DEM later on, so answer No and save the project. Let's try the main camera preview render once again. Aside from going much faster, you'll see from the status window that we're only rendering about 20 of our 70 DEMs. This also frees up valuable RAM for other memory-intensive operations, which we'll certainly need later on. Let's group the 10-meter DEMs on a layer for easy selection. Click and drag to select all the objects, or select the first one, and shift-click the last one. The title bar should show all 70 of 70 objects selected. Go to the Layer page, and you'll see Top, which is the default layer WCS adds all DEMs to. Click Add, and enter 10M into the input request box for the layer name. This will add all the 10-meter DEMs to a layer named 10M. To test this, select any object in the list, select the 10M layer item, and click Select to select all objects on that layer. This may not seem like much help now, but it will be when you have hundreds of database objects.